So why did you stay natural? There's a question.
There's a question. Before we get it, that's actually a really good question. Before we get into that, I just want to put on record, right? Like me and you are obviously very aware of macros, if it fits your macros and all that stuff. But I'm very much with you, Mark, when you say like people confuse the term if it fits your macros with let me just eat shit all day, like that's never what it was meant to be. And the reason why, like, for example, I remember I would always hashtag eat cake, get shredded, shit like that, because because being just like telling people, no, you can have more variety and get in shape is fucking boring. That sounds vanilla, right? So if you want to stand out, you want to, appeal to an audience, you want to, generate a bigger audience, you got to make statements like that. But that didn't mean go fucking make your diet full of cake and Oreos. You know what I mean?
But you can have cake in your kid's birthday and be completely fine.
100%. And
that's the beautiful thing is, I mean, even as beginning as a parent in the early 2000s, right? Like I didn't, if my kid was having a birthday and I was getting in shape, I'm not eating cake. I'm not doing 100%. That. Whereas now I'd be like, I'm fine. I'm going to have a little piece of cake and I'm going to fit it in. I'm going to make it work. I'll cut out some rice at meal 2. And even though I don't get rice, like rice has no micronutrients in it. Of all things for bodybuilders to eat, it's like you're going to eat something that's simply carbs. There's so many better choices. I understand it's easy to digest, but if you're dieting and you're trying to get the most bang for your caloric buck, you want something with fiber, with micronutrients. I can't for the life of me understand the rice thing. Like chicken and rice just sounds retarded. It's like, why rice? Like go with a sweet potato, go with a banana, go with some fruit that's more filling, go with some berries. No, we're going to eat the most nutrient lacking fucking carbohydrate bomb we can eat.
It's what you said. It's just convenience. You know what I mean? I'm with you with that too. Like I like all foods, but give me some potatoes, but at the end of the day, dude, like you said, it doesn't have to suck to be in shape or to stay in shape. And if anything, if you're really going to succeed at this shit, you can't have a boring ass life, a boring ass diet, because nobody wants to live that, And if you don't have to do that, and then what's the reason? You know what I mean? So anyway, getting into
drugs, man. I want to know about the drugs. Because I mean, the easiest shortcut, especially like you see on YouTube now, everybody who claimed natural, I was always honest. Like I was natural for, the start of YouTube. And then I got diagnosed low test, and I was actually anti-steroid for a long time. Like I was like, I was that natty people hate. Like but then I'm like, shit, I'm going to go on this. And I did do a steroid cycle within there, but I mean, you're talking about being shredded. The only way I compete with the drug, and I am a drug guy because I'm on steroids. It's not a lot. It's testosterone replacement therapy. It's bringing me up to high normal levels, like 900 to 1100 test levels. But like the only reason I win, dude, the guy I beat for my pro card and the overall, he weighed 65 pounds more than me at the same height and just as shred, but I was slightly more shredded and I had better shape because, at the end of the day, bodybuilding isn't just size. It goes with obviously symmetry and shape and all those other things, quality. So I'm able to compete with the guys on more stuff because I still live and breathe a natty lifestyle where I'm ready 2 weeks out. I'm not playing the last minute insulin fucking injections and nasty carb loads. So, I mean, yeah, you're right to compete, but going back, getting a little off topic. So now in that YouTube era, you had Kali Muscle who came out as fake natty. All these guys were claiming natural, but it was very apparent they weren't natural. What made you stay honest and natural throughout that period?
Dude, see, this is where the confidence and the sex icon thing, I know it's a joke, but like not really, because you might not even believe me when I say this. I never even considered it. Like,
so you never considered it?
No. And literally, even
I do believe it.
My closest friends don't even believe that. But, and I have no reason to lie about that, right? Like, why would I lie about that? But and another thing is, dude, I don't have any judgment on anyone who does anything. Like, I think regardless of where you're at, you got to put in hard ass work. You got to be consistent with everything you're doing. Your nutrition has to be on point, because people think it's just like some magical pill. You just take something and all of a sudden you turn into fucking Chris Bumstead, you know? But so for me, for one, the results were consistent and quick, and I liked what I saw early on. And so I was so tunnel focused on like, oh shit, like, dude, look at my arms, dude, look at my legs. You know what I mean? Like, look what's happening. Look at my back. Like, I was loving the results. And so I never really thought like I need to enhance that to another level. And then obviously like, up until recently, I got more of well, this is like fast forwarding too much time, but now I have more of a performance bug where I'm more geared towards like what I can do physically rather than how I look. And but I guess you can, there's different categories too, right? Like I was never trying to compete in, you know, the NPC or become an IFBB pro. I was always in the natural, you know, drug tested organizations. And so there's a level playing field, and there's still a high level you can reach. And then the other side of it would be, I just never had the kind of interest to actually dig into what it was that I would take, because that's not something that you just want to be like, oh, hey, my bro just told me to take this shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you care about yourself, you need to actually know what the fuck you're doing. And so for that reason, you know, I never really dove down that path. And then there's the other stuff too, right? Like you got an additional cost for it and just all that other stuff. But
there's a health thing too. Like, and I'm in the same boat as you. Right now, you know, aesthetics are secondary to performance. I want to feel good. My training's changed a lot. And then I'm doing, man. I'm still pretty strong, but I'm not what I used to be. And honestly, I was thinking of doing a pro show this year, and actually my wife approved of it, which was crazy. Probably because she knew even when you're not on stuff, like it's not like I just started blasting gear. So I got in my head, I'm going to fucking compete. So I started training harder. Normally I train harder. Like I'll notice my legs get a little bigger, a little more vascular. And that's when I know I'm kind of kicked in. For me, that was my marker. Like, okay, I'm training harder. I always saw it there. And so for like a month, I'm doing this and nothing's changing. And I'm like, there's a reason why people retire. And I think I'm there right now. So that's why. And I noticed my joints were really not feeling as well as they're not bad by any means. But I was like, hold on. I don't want to feel like this. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to run. I still want to run a respectable 40-yard dash. I still want to coach the kids, and I want to be able to demonstrate movements. I noticed I'm trying to demonstrate these movements, and I'm like, dude, I can't move right. And it was just for me. But as far as the drug thing, I think the health thing is something that, because I mean, would I get that bump if I started blasting 2 grams of gear? Yeah, steroids work. But like, I think you get to an age where you're just like, I really like living and I don't want to die. And now seeing all these people die, right? All these bodybuilders died, you know, Sean Roden and George and John, all these guys die. And they're all like, we know these people. Like, I don't know if you ran in those, but like, I knew these guys. Like they'd come to my charity events. And it was like, seeing that was a wake up call that, you know, steroids are not, everything that's awesome has a consequence, has a reaction to it. And I think the abuse of steroids, and I'm saying abuse, I do think there's therapeutic usages for steroids. Like you look at even things like a steroid is basically a cholesterol molecule, right? So you look at things like prednisone, you look at testosterone, you look at estrogen for menopausal women, you know, those are things with therapeutic benefits. But again, like estrogen in supplemental dose for women with menopause probably has some good effects. I don't know. I haven't read much into that, but I'm sure if you just jacked a woman with 2 grams of estrogen, it's probably not going to go well. So, but we're doing the same thing for men. We're saying, okay, a little bit of test will get you up to normal levels if you're low. But what if we took that 1,000 and made it 30,000? Right? Like, and these guys are walking around with test levels in the 10, 20, 30,000 range, which is super physiologically absurd.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, no, I'm all for like healthy test levels. As a matter of fact, if your test levels aren't where they need to be, dude, the detriment could be catastrophic. I mean, literally down to the point of like suicide and shit like that. You know what I mean?
And cardiovascular issues. There's so many issues that can come from it.
Dude, even like you know, I mean, pretty much everything. Like you could get brain fog. You could just stop functioning correctly. You know what I mean? Like your mood, your relationships, everything takes a hit. So it's important. You know, to have those levels, but dude, I'm glad you saw it that way. And that actually brings up another good point of like, you know, we're definitely a little older than the, you know, the new generation. And there definitely comes a point where, you know, where you start realizing like, dude, I got other shit to live for. You know what I mean? Like I got kids, like me and you both got kids and stuff. And
yeah, we're blessed, aren't we? Your kid,
so blessed.
Kid's great. You have a good wife. Like, why would you jeopardize not spending more time on earth with them? Right.
Dude,
like,
100%. And not even just spending the time, like you said, like you want to be able to keep up with them, you know, as long as you can and do this, do that.
Are you doing the longevity shit now, like sauna and cold plunge and all that?
Am I?
Yeah. Are you in that? Cause I'm in that phase where I'm like biohacking. I know people make fun of that word, but I sauna every day. I got a cold plunge in my backyard now. You know, I'm like, okay, I know this might not work, but on the slim chance it might, we're going to do everything we can.
Dude, why not? And if anything, like placebo actually is a thing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it actually is for certain things. But I think
dopamine from cold plunging. I go in the morning first thing. And I'm like, nothing wakes you up more than shriveling your balls to unforeseen levels of shrinkage.
Dude, 100%. I mean, mine can't really shrink anymore, but
well, actually that would be me with the
TRT. True. But no, I think I'll get there soon. Like I'm definitely trying to, I've actually minimized my days of training in an effort to have more days that I can do other shit, like, you know, work on my business stuff or work on just being at home with the family stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm with you. Like I want to do whatever I can to, you know, to you know, be there with the kids, man. Like, you know, have as good energy as I can, you know, be as good of an influence as I can for them. And dude, I look forward to that shit more than, you know, my own selfish shit now. And I think everyone reaches that point. Like, you know, it comes at a different point in people's journey, but, you know, depending on whether they have kids, maybe they don't, maybe they, whatever. But there's always that point, I think. And thank God for kids, because for us, it was kids probably the biggest factor.
Yeah. It changes everything. My daughter turns 19 today.
19.
Damn. That's crazy. I'm so old, bro.